Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. If you're looking for TCGO codes, check out the Potown store. You can get yourself a nice 5% discount on your orders using the OmniPoke code. For today's video, we're revisiting ReshiRom. Now, when the archetype first came out, it was super hyped, right? Everyone thought that Fabled Flare Bolts 270, great number, is going to be a busted deck. And for the most part, we all kind of tried to build it with welders, and it never really worked. Everyone thought it was a little bit clunky, worse Blowns, all this sort of stuff was labeled with it, and it kind of got put to the side straight away. And I've recently revisited the archetype, tried to build it from the ground up with a different sort of focus, saying that this is probably more setup based than some of these other decks out there. But when you do get that setup, it's really, really insane. You can just sit there basically with win on board, thanks to having charge up at your disposal to close out games. So I still think the damage output is very strong and still worth building around. And now that we've seen the power of the Tag Call engine, I'm confident in this sort of approach and going to give this one a go today. So some interesting decisions in the list for sure, but I'll be running through them right now. So let's start off with the Reshiram Zekrom Tag Team GX 270 hit point Dragon type. With the first attack, Fabled Flare Bolts. For a Fire and Lightning, you do 90, and you can discard up to 3 in any combination of Fire and Lightning energies from your benched Pokemon, and you do 90 for each you discarded in this way. So the whole idea is we're going to be using Red and Blue as our accelerator rather than Welder. We also have Tapu Koko Prism Star and Charge Up to get the Fabled Flare Bolts rolling and getting it doing big damage output. Of course, the maximum is 270. It's a great number. 180 is a great number. And 90 is a great number. So all 3 breakpoints are amazing. So at 90 damage, you're dealing with most like evolving basics and Jirachis very easily. With 2 discards, you can knock out Dedennes and Blowns. And with 3 discards, you can knock out a lot of tag teams, not all of them. We do have Shrine to help us out in that regard. But yeah, a good amount of tag teams get knocked out by Flare Bolts, which is really awesome. We do have the Crossbreak GX attack. For 2 Fire, 2 Lightning, you do 170 to one of your opponent's bench. If you played an Ends Resolve from your hand during this turn, you can do it to 2 targets instead of 1. We're not playing Ends Resolve in the list anymore. In my initial list, I played 1 copy just so you could have a better Malamar and better like Pidgeotto matchup, for example. But I'm playing Stinger now as a GX attack for Pidgeotto, and I think Malamar is kind of okay because we're already playing heavy Mallow Lana. So Crossbreak, we have the option to just snipe a Dedenne for game, similar to how Mewtwo can just sort of sit there with win on board if it's not dealt with. We can have a very similar sort of board state at times. So the 170 snipe is still reasonable, even though you're not getting the full effect. So don't sleep on that GX attack, it's still available. From there, we have a very, very thick Naganadel package. I'm playing 1 Ditto Prism Star, as well as the full 4 Poipole, to try and get as many of these down as possible, because, like I said, we're setup-based. We want to ideally have a board state of 1 Dragon Naga and 2 Baby Nagas on the board, on the bench. Then we have a Reshiram up front, and then the other stuff on the board can be anything you want. So, yeah, we're hoping that we can get Charge Up going as much as possible. You can get an energy from your discard pile onto this card once per turn, which is really awesome. And it does offer an attacking threat, which is super relevant in this format. We've seen how strong ADP is now, and by consequence, how strong Keldeo is. Turning Point is 80 plus 80 more if you have exactly 3 prize cards remaining. So our game plan against ADP is knock out an ADP with your ReshiRom, and then if they're going to give you a Keldeo, you can knock them out with Naganadel. Turning Point doing 160, you have a Shrine, and you have a Beast Energy in the deck. So ideally, you Shrine on the Fabled Flare Bolts turn that knocks out ADP, which already puts a damage counter on the Keldeo for you to then Turning Point to knock it out. Alternatively, you still have the Beast Energy to help you get over the line in that matchup. So knocking out a Keldeo in 1 hit is super important in this format. And doing it with a non-GX is decent because it means that it sort of forces more out of the opponent as well sometimes, if they've not dealt with your ReshiRom and stuff. So yeah, I think Turning Point is a big deal, and it's really important to knock out things like Keldeos. in one hit. If you give them too much time, you will 100% lose the game. So yeah, we're playing the Beast Energy and the Shrine to try and make that happen, which is sweet. We have the 2 Dragon Nagas. Ultra Conversion is great, giving us a backup draw engine here, especially when we will use red and blue. So, you know, that's obviously not drawing us cards on the turn. It lets us evolve into this card, and then it gets energies out of the deck, which is all fantastic. But making sure that we can keep drawing cards throughout the game is still like really important, I would say. You can discard excess Ultra Beasts from our hand, which is sweet, and then we can draw 3 cards, so it helps us just maintain our hand size throughout the game. We also do have the Venom Shot available to us. Again, if you're red and bluing to this card, so it's not actually like that far out of range. We have the 1-off Beast Energy, so again, similar to how ReshiRom can use its GX attack for a 170 snipe, we have the Naga that can do a 170 snipe as well. And Injection GX is live as well. You can add a card from your opponent's discard pile to their prize cards face down. I think you'll rarely ever do this, but you can do it. And in some weird spots, I've actually done this against Pidgeotto Control. If they've taken back things like Palpad rather than Bryson Man, you can actually injection the the Bryson Man back into their prizes, which is going to be actually quite good. So don't sleep on that. We are playing a better GX attack for the Pidgeotto Control matchup, which is Stinger, putting both players to 3 prize cards, which is really good. Puts them on a clock, similar to how ADP tries to put people on a clock. On turn 2, we can red-blue into this card, attach, Stinger, and then suddenly we're 3 attacks away from winning the game. So yeah, this is going to be used only really for that matchup. In some random tag team matchups, it can be decent. Just if you're like setting up a ReshiRom attack in the back, you can go for a Stinger, and as long as they don't have the 1-hit KO potential to sort of deal with your guy on the bench, you can just come in and Fable Flare Bolts for game against opposing tag teams. So I'm mostly using it for good old control, and it's fodder for Ultra Conversion in every other matchup, which is sweet. But you can use it in some specific tag team matchups, maybe against like Greenzard and such, that can't like naturally knock you out unless they've already threatened like 4 energies on board or whatever. You can set up a Flare Bolts on the bench and go for a Stinger play, which can sometimes be really good for you. Onto the items now. I'm playing 1 Stadium Nav. We've seen this work well in Pikaron alongside Volkner. We're now doing it to actually get the Shrine to help out the ADP matchup. I think it's relevant enough that we're going to go ahead and do that. And at the same time, it's an extra out to Ultra Space, which helps the sort of nature of this deck, which is setup based. And we also want to have our abilities online because we're Dedenne and Ultra Conversion based. I actually didn't even mention the other 2 Pokemon that we play. Dedenne, you know what it's in here for, drawing us cards and discard synergy with our good old charge up, which is cool. And the Tapu Koko Prism Star, Dance of the Ancients, it means that we can power up a ReshiRom out of nowhere just by dancing and then manually attaching the fire, which is sweet. And at the same time, it's essentially 180 damage for the physical Flare Bolts outputs, which is obviously great as well. Yeah, we'll go back to the items. 2 Stamps and 2 Great Catchers are in the list. Again, we're playing a Volkner sort of based engine here. Like, the Tag Call is kind of our early sort of turn 2, you'll try and do red and blue, and you have a little bit of extra stuff in here as well. But Volkner and Cynthia are like the main core pieces, and especially Volkner, great for picking out Stamp for disruption, Great Catcher for gusting up stuff. Obviously, we have no trouble dealing with a lot of tag teams in one hit, and of course, we're pretty decent at dealing with Dedenne as well, so Great Catcher, fantastic there. 2 copies of Tag Call, meaning that we essentially have like 4 outs to red and blue turn 1 or turn 2, like either is fine. And, you know, this is a big part of the deck because we try and use this to get the full value Naga GX. It's what means that we can knock out tag teams, like, on turn 2 a lot of the time, which is pretty good. So, yeah, the 4 outs is really awesome. And you don't need any more copies of red and blue because you'll only really do it, like, once, maybe twice. But sometimes just once is enough, really, I've found, which is awesome. 2 Energy Switch. Like I said, we're not playing the welders anymore, so there'll be those situations where you've got to bench a ReshiRom, and if you don't have Dance of the Ancients available to you, maybe board space issues or something like that, you can attach Charge Up and then Energy Switch from your Charge Up over to the ReshiRom. What I do really like about this is that it's vulnerable to get an Energy and an E-Switch all at once, so you can just Volkner to make that combo happen, which is awesome. We have 3 copies of Cherish, good outs for your Nagas, your Dedenne and ReshiRom himself. 3 Com, of course we only play 2 copies of Dragnag, so putting those back into the deck so we can red and blue them back out is awesome. And again, just more outs towards these evolutions. I'm choosing to play Ultra Space over like Treasures, and like Ultra Space is just like a really good stadium card, so we're seeing Coms just to be more flexible and giving us more outs to Dedenne rather than having like treasures in the list, for example. So the Shrine, I've mentioned it, it's mostly here for ADP, to be honest, 280 hit points. It can also be nice against some of the dark stuff as well that have 280 hit points. So yeah, Shrine coming in clutch for those situations. You really don't care about the Shrine damage on your own stuff. In the ADP matchup, the only time it's slightly awkward is against the Dedennes. If it sticks in play for too long, it can put them in range of a Keldeo. But the matchup is pretty like tempo based anyway, so I think they rarely have the time to go for that sort of play, regardless, in my own opinion. So yeah. We have the 3 space, which I think is just such a big deal. Like I said, we have to change the mentality of this deck completely. We are a setup deck. You got to get 3 Poipoles down. We're basically like a Malamar that smacks, right? It's like an Ultra Malamar feel to the deck, really. So having, you know, heavy comm, heavy space, and 5 physical Poipole, as well as like decent turn 1 supporter outs with Cynthia and Volkner and such. I think we should be able to get, and the Nav as well, to be an extra Ultra Space out. We should be getting 2 or 3 Poipoles down a good chunk of times, especially with Dead A change to try and work even deeper into the deck. And when that happens, the deck really does kick on and is powerful. So the Tag Call engine is definitely a big thing. We're playing with 2 red and blues to give us 180 damage and get our draw engine online. We have the Cynthia Caitlin that can reload some important supporters, which is nice. It's just a one-of, and it means that Tag Call is an out towards a draw supporter. Even though it's a weak one, it's still 3 outs for the price of 1 card in the list, which is nice. And it can reload things like Mallow Lana and Volkner, which is always great as well. Speaking of which, Mallow Lana, fantastic against ADP and fantastic against Malamar, 2 matchups that are pretty relevant in the format right now. Undoing a turn of their damage essentially is great, and it really does buy us some extra time in those situations. And yeah, we are playing U-turn board, and we have 1 retreat on like a bunch of our stuff, so the Mallow Lana U-turn board package is pretty decent, I would say. 3 Volkner, I've already mentioned how great this is. It can pick out the low count of lightning energies for us, as well as all of these great item cards, and the Cynthia just for some nice shuffle draw, which I think is very reasonable. 1 U-turn board, ideally it's on one of your Nagas, because they all have 1 retreat. It could also end up on a Dedenne and stuff, just to be a pivot, and so that we don't have to like charge up and pay retreat that way. It's a bit of help there. The Beast Energy, I've already mentioned what it can do for us. Turning Point gets much stronger, Venom Shot becomes live. It is a little bit dead, but I think just having the additional outs to the ADP matchup is worthwhile. You could potentially change this just for a Shrine, but at the moment I've been enjoying the Beast Energy. I've also been like testing Guzmahala. You can see that it's not in the list, but like the remnants of the Beast Energy is still in here. So yeah, I've tried Guzmahala just to let you know, but I mean I'm preferring Stadium Nav over Guzmahala just because Volkner's more versatile, and yeah. But Beast Energy still just about makes it in the list. This could be cut though, just for another Shrine, for example, or an extra, or even just the Guzmahala, for example. Then we're just gonna have 7 fire and 4 lightning. I'm preferring the higher fire count because Volkner already scouts the lightning energies for us, and many other decks will give you the freedom of Giant Hearth, so it's better to have like a higher count of the fire energies because you can take more advantage of opponent's stadiums, which is pretty cool. So other cards that could come into this deck, a few other attackers you could consider. Lopuff being one of them. I think I would have to play Welder or Tag Call for Lopuff to be better. Speaking of which, Welder and Tag Call are options you could consider. If you want to go down a route of having your own Giant Hearths and that, like sort of switching up the search options and going to treasures, that is something you can do. It's kind of what we had initially all had though, and it didn't go so well, so I'm trying this way around instead, and I'm liking it a bit more. Guzmahala is definitely a card that I have on my radar. I might be dropping down to like 1 Mallow Lana, for example, or working in a space elsewhere in the list to try and accommodate that card, because just having access to Shrine is super important for ADP, and I'm not sure if the Nav is enough, but I'm hoping that it is. So yeah, that's going to be the list. Let's jump into some games with the deck, and we'll see. Oh, it's a new ladder. Excellent news. I think I got the Cynthia. I actually can't remember. But anyways, we will get some games with the deck. Oh, it's Cosmic Eclipse packs, guys. Go, go, go. Alright, we'll see what we're up against here. I do like this deck's damage output against the likes of Pikarom, against the likes of Mewtwo. Ability Zard and Green Zard, I think it's really good damage output. And it's not to be slept on. It's very interesting already trying to follow the hype around this card and this archetype. It was like pre-Cosmic Eclipse release, everyone thought it was the bananas, and now everyone laughs at it. And I'm hoping that I've built it in such a way that it can go back on people's radars as being a reasonable deck. I definitely think it's reasonable for sure. Alright, we start off with a Pokecom. We could go for a Dedenne change here and get some Lightnings in the bin straight away. I think that's pretty strong, but Cynthia is one of our better turn 1 supporters, and we have prized 2 of them. So I think I'm just going to get an attachment onto a ReshiRom. Let's see how many Mallow Lanas we have. We have both our Mallow Lanas. They're definitely big cards in this matchup, so we'll do this. We'll get our energy on board. We'll put our space down. Am I gonna space for Poipole first? We have so few actual... Yeah, I want to get a Poipole out before the Cynthia, because I want to have more outs to Dedenne. Because Dedenne turn 1 is still really good in this deck, just for getting energy in the bin. Okay, well, we get into Tag Call, which is decent. That can get us red and blue next turn, so I can be pressuring at least. So we'll pass it there. They're going to bounce space straight away. They're going to throw away a Psychic Energy. For a Psychic Energy. Can see a Treasure as well. Looks like they got a decent turn 1. 2 Psychics in the bin straight away is always great. More Inkays en route. Let's see what else they're working with here. You can see an Acrobike now. Gets rid of a bike, so it must be a good card. Jirachi. Energy to the active. That's pretty good for us. We prefer energy active than energy on anything else, but they do have a nice Lily here for a bunch of cards. More bikes on the way. Wow, so all 4 bikes gone now. And they play 4 bikes, which is already like a good amount of space committed to bikes, which not every Malamar will do. We see a spell tag and just a pass. So tag calling out a spare ReshiRom that we can just throw away, and a red and blue seems really good here. We're going to get our Dragon Naga in the active, so I can pay retreat and just do the 90 this turn. I'm going to throw the Lightning in the discard pile just to have Koko Prism live. Do I want to throw away Great Catcher with Viridian just to make our hand a little bit better? No, I think this is fine. Verbal Flare Bolts, get rid of his Jirachi straight away. He does have a large hand size, but he still has a lot to do this turn. We're holding Mallow Lana for next turn as well, which is looking pretty reasonable. As long as I can get towards some charge up Nagas, the Stadium Nav might actually be pretty clutch this turn. I can Viridian for an energy, then Stadium Nav for a charge up. Depends what sort of attacker he puts in the active, of course. I'm just trying to see if we can weave in the Mallow Lana now, or if I'll have to do it in a few turns' time. Alright, so they used Rosa this turn, which gets them a Pokemon in energy and a trainer card of their choice. They've now got double Mally. They can calm out a Tina. So it looks like we'll be getting hit with a Giratina this turn. Here comes the door. The Mimikyu is a little bit annoying in this deck. We're not playing hoods. We just sort of accept that the abilities get shut down if they do want to get it down. We are going to see the recharges. There's a spell tag as well. There's the switch. And a shadow impact. They're going to put 40 on themselves, which actually makes life super easy for us in terms of knocking out his guy. I'm surprised he did that, you know. Okay, let's see the outcome of this Stadium Nav real quick. Oh, that's actually so bad for us. That's so unlucky. I can't Mallow Lana now. What can I do? I really don't want to Dedenne change either. That's so inconvenient. I think I am going to be Dedenne changing. Feels bad, but I actually don't want the lightning energy. I want to keep it in deck. It's a real shame that we missed both of the Stadium Nav flips. I'm going to take a big nag, and then I'm going to Ultra Convert away the Dragon Nag in a sec. Reset Stamp's going to be good next turn, that's for sure. This is fine. Alright, well, Fabled Flare Bolts. It's a bit of a tongue twister attack, but there we go. They're going to start setting up the Naga-GX and put the 1 on the active so they can come in with their Giratina next turn. Which makes a lot of sense. Alright, the Tina's back. We see the recycle. The recharge is coming in. There's the switch. And we see a Cynthia as well. Next spell tag coming in. They're still damaging themselves. They're doing us favors. Alrighty. Let's get our next nag out. Got a pretty big ultra conversion ahead of us this turn. Ooh, getting Dance of the Ancients is massive. That is pretty massive. Let's do our retreats and our charge ups. We'll keep both energy available for E-switch plays. We'll keep the Mallow Lana in hand. Seems chill. We'll just take it off this one, because I probably want to Mallow Lana and use Turning Point next turn for a knockout. Because we'll be on 3 prizes. Alright, he's still setting up the Dragon Naga. Which seems pretty chill. Okay, so we've seen so far 2 switches from them. Okay, they have the board now. So they can at least do a Giratina attack. That Naga keeps going further and further into range. It's now in range of a Great Catcher. There's a Shrine as well. We can't bump it with our own Shrine. They do have a Lily here also. More Inkay, why not? Hopefully here we'll start to see the benefits of Mallow Lana. Missed on the first opportunity, but this time we'll be able to use it pretty well. Every time he's damaging himself. It's so weird. Okay. Let's draw some additional cards. Let's do our charge ups. Let's Stadium Bump. Let's do the Poipole in here. Do I stamp the 5? I mean, he's already got board. What am I afraid of next turn? There's not a lot I'm afraid of. I should stamp him next turn. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of Ditto and Shrine. And there's not much else I need to do here. Just Turning Point. So we can see that they're setting up for some good knockouts, but I'm hoping that the stamp to 2 next turn puts us in better shape. They do have a Viridian. It's Mally number 3, so all sorts of attacks available for them. That's for sure. They've still got the Recycle. There's the Esper. Okay, the Esper might actually make our stamp to 1 way better. If he just wants to knock out Naganadel, the Naga GX this turn, we can stamp Flare Bolts. and then he's got to deal with 240 hit points in a turn. There's a spell tag. They haven't attached for turn yet. Okay, they're just going to go for the 200 snipe. One prize away, but we're going to stamp knockout and make them have everything off of a one-card hand, basically. I don't really know what attacker knocks us out, but Mally has so many options that I'm not going to rule out that we can lose. We have a big excess of energies, so he can't put anything on the board that stops us winning the game. If I put this here, and if I energy switch, I also have a snipe available. I guess I should just put it here for now, and I don't need to play the E-switch. I can play Volkner just to play Volkner, just get cards out of the deck. If I'm being stricter, I should just do the comm dance real quick as well. We're being really strict on ourselves here, but I'm pretty sure these are all irrelevant plays. Alright, can he deal 200 to the active this turn, or find a way to deal with one of our benched attackers? Let's find out. They're going to go 2 and 2. That's our U-turn board. Mysterious Treasure. What energy? What attacker can they do? 3 energies. SBDO. Oh, they got us. They can SBDO for the 100. Well, sometimes lucky off the stump to 1, I guess. 24 cards still in, or they had 25 cards still left in their deck. They hadn't played a lot of treasures, to be fair. They had played a lot of supporters, though. Oh well, one of those things, you know. I don't think we could do much more in that matchup. Obviously, we missed the 1 Mallow Lana heal, so we only got to use 1 the whole game. It is what it is. This deck doesn't have, like, the ideal matchup against them. The 2 Mallow Lanas obviously bring it to a close game. But yeah, it's a little unfortunate. So we had the double tails flip, right? So I couldn't do the initial Mallow Lana. And we were basically a turn away, right? Feels bad, man. We lost like our 25%er, and then they won the reset stamp, which was not a super high percenter either. It'd be like that sometimes, though. Alright, we have decent start. Having to Dedenne away, potentially Great Catcher and Stamp isn't ideal. We may just be doing Volkner for Tag Call, depending on what we're up against. So we're up against Pidgeotto Control. Oh, are we? Does Pidgeotto always play Munchlax? Doesn't always, but it can play Munchlax, I guess. So unfortunately, Ditto Prism can't be red and blued onto. So it's not the ideal start for us. We'd prefer it to be a Poipole, but the good news is it's not a ReshiRom, which is a big chunky boy that they can Articuno and trap. So we're just going to try and use the Naga army this game and hope that the Naga army wins us the game. Oh, they're playing... Maybe they're playing Doll Loop as well as Pidgeotto? Disgusting. We don't want to deal with that, that's for sure. So, let's have a look and see if... Okay, Stinger is here. Our Charger Uppers are here. Red and Blue is here. So I think I just take this and Tag Call. I'm going to put this down and we're going to grab a Poip. Attaching here is always fine. No, that's not true actually. Because I can red and blue away. I should do this because I want to draw an energy for turn, next turn. I attach this turn. I can retreat. I can't. I can charge up E-switch anyways. Yeah, okay. It's fine. See a Pidgeotto, then just the raw candy Florges. Okay. So I imagine they are trying to loop Clefairy with their little Florges Munchlax thing they got going on, huh? So this is like the pure Florges build, but they're just playing Pidgeotto to help them get there, I guess. But they don't have enough flips each turn to make it work, do they? I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. We'll see it in action, though. They've got a second Elm, so... They've completely filled their board without an Oranguru or a Doll, which is interesting. Very curious build. Someone couldn't decide which was better between Bird Control and Doll Control. Bouncing out Ultra Space is really annoying because I can't just charge up E-switch anymore. Well, good draw. Any energy or any nag or Ultra Space were all good draws there, in fairness, but this is the best one. So we're going to retreat, evolve, charge up, E-switch to the active, red and blue away, Stamp and Catcher, I think. Stamp potentially is very good, but... Great Catcher's definitely a bin. Let's get a variety of energies. And we're just going to Stinger. So 3 attacks away from game. Their hand size is 4, their deck size is 41. So it may be difficult for them to try and assemble lots of disruption pieces. I still haven't quite figured out what sort of list they are. I'm almost certain they're playing Dolls, though, because they're playing Florgus. And Munch. They get their third Pidgey out. See an airmail. Wondrous gifting, some maybe some odd cards, I would say, to the top. Maybe they're just setting up their next Florgus, but here's a Bryson man. So they, okay, that's weird. Well, they Bryson manned at least. Got a fire in the discard for us. Snack search fail. Couldn't bounce Stadium, which is super good for us. So Poipole coming down means Beast Raid takes a knockout. I'm going to Cynthia Caitlin away a Cherish Ball here. May as well just take back the Volkner. We can do our charge ups. That's fine. And we'll just Beast Raid. Their hand size is still super low. Ooh, Beast Energy is a fantastic prize. It makes Beast Raid's damage output much better. And it means I could Jet Needle as well. May not last for a while. Yeah, but still decent. Okay, it is a dull deck. So maybe Cynthia Caitlin back red and blue was smarter, so I could do some snipes. Who knows? Maybe our snipes are the way to victory here. Haven't seen any hammers in terms of control cards just yet. So I'm imagining they're using Pidgeotto just to draw, so that, like, they're using it so that they can spam the Florguses. Okay, there's the next Sky Pillar. 2 of our 4 stadiums gone. That's what's going to be awkward. If they Bella away enough stadiums before we can snipe them out. Couple tails. Okay. We have those 2 stadiums. Is red and blue in here? Yeah, red and blue's in here. So we want the Tag Call and the Stadium Nav. Oh no, I can't take both. It's not Green's Exploration. Do I keep energy in the deck just to have safer outs to not lose my stadiums off of Bella? I think that's correct. We'll just Beast Raid for now. We'll try and stack up that Poipole. Doll number 2 comes down. So the Doll loop is much more difficult for us to beat than the regular Pidgeotto deck. Because we don't play customs. So we might be facing our second Fat L. Sad boys. Stamping Beast Energy, please, no. They could Lucamine. Into the doll. And there's the snackage. Get back a doll if they want to guarantee it. It could also be all sorts, to be honest. More stadiums. Getting stadiums back on top could be good. If he gets his next Sky Pillar, that's probably actually his best card. Just goes for the doll, though. I'm just going to Beast Raid. Not going to evolve up. I don't think he plays Handlock stuff. I think he just plays Bella stuff. There's the Surge. Now things are going to go a lot faster. They can Surge Bella Lusamine, or they can Surge double Bella. Oh, there's one of our Stadium bounces and our red and blue. Which is a shame. So now we only have one Stadium bounce. There's the gear. We've still only seen one Florgus so far, which is the best news, really. Bunch of Poké Gears from our opponent. Grab a Stevens. This could be their way into another Florgus. They're going to finish their Surge combo with the Lusamine. Getting back those two. And they're going to finish on the snack. I think getting back Lusamine is good for them here. So they can do the same thing they did last time. Just go for dolls. Keeping it safe. I don't hate it. I can respect it. Alright, we're gonna Dedenne change. No point waiting around. Convert this Poipole. Is the Stadium Nav in our deck? Let's have a look. Yeah, it is in our deck. We know it's in our deck. $14 cards left in deck. So they didn't take the Lusamine back, which may mean they may not be able to Sky Pillar again. Maybe. I'm going to do the E-switch in the... the E-switch now. And the charge. We go down to 1. And we see what they can do about it, basically. Obviously, they can get back Pillar. Well, I mean, I've seen 2 Lusamine and 1 Cynthia Caitlin. Possibly they only played 2 in that one, rather than 3 Lusamine. It's kind of like min-maxing, so they can draw a few more cards, which would make sense. But because they didn't snack search a Lusamine back, it could be really good for us, because they usually only play 2 Sky Pillars. So I'm hoping that we could get there. Oh, so they can Surge Cynthia Caitlin and then Lusamine and get the Sky Pillar back? Yeah, that makes sense. But hopefully, what this does mean is that they only have 2 coin flips to get more Pokédolls for a while. Or only 1 coin flip to get Pokédolls for a while. That's the hope. The only hope. Such a shame that they sniped a Stadium with a Bellbella, but that's how it be, you know. They're not just going for deck out; they're also clocking you as much as they can. So there's the Pillar. There's another Flabébé. Oh, there's a Floette. Takes a random card out. Oh, shuffles it back in. And we're just going to see a snack. Are they going to snack back a Candy? Or a Florgus? Just a Surge. Okay. Alright, we're just back to Beast Raiding. It's down to the coin flips now. Sigh. Big sigh. How many dolls are in the bin? Only 1. The one thing he has been is very cautious with his doll, to be fair to him, so. It's whether or not our 13 cards remaining are good enough. Or like give it his 13 cards are enough to beat his coin flips or not. They're just getting back more Lusamine pieces. I'm gonna airmail a couple times. Or at least once. There's their second Florgus. We just gotta get lucky once. I should also keep attaching here, because if they miss a doll ever, they'll retreat into the Florgus that has more hit points than a Beast Raid can deal, right? So I actually do need to play 2 more cards out of my deck, which is a pain. I was hoping to Cynthia some cards back into the deck, but we have to keep attaching so I can just finish the game. Stamping Us would be fantastic. I want him to stamp us. Slows down his win condition of deck out. I guess he's afraid of stuff that we could do, though. Like, in theory, we have access to more stuff that could beat him. Well, our deck is bigger, which is good. Okay, they got one heads. They got lucky this time. So, no break of the lock yet. We know they're already holding $1 in hand, and this could get them their next one. They're going for rare candy. This can definitely help close out the game for them. If they get back up to 3 coin flips a turn, I don't think we'll be able to win. Search Lucamine. Seeing a couple airmails. It feels kind of inevitable now. We like the coin flips. Now the odds are against us. There was a point where it was relatively okay for us to win the game. Now it feels like the coin flips will be against us a little bit too much. Especially because we don't actually know how many dolls he plays. I'm sure the Pidgeotos eat into his count, so I don't think he'll play more than 3 dolls. I think 3 will be the absolute maximum. Snack Search also gets the heads, so that can be some security. Some doll security. They're getting the Florgus back so they can get into 3 flips. Which sounds gross. Let the flips forever be in our favor. Alright, I think this is concede time. Just to save us time, because his turns are taking long. I'm going to save us some coin flips, boys. Let's be real with ourselves here. I think it was fine when there was only 1. It was fine when there was 2. But when there's a 3rd, you just say yeah. At least when you're recording. Let's get one more game in. So far I've been a little bit short of the mark both times, right? But hopefully I've been demonstrating how the deck functions, you know, like how it shapes up with this new build and how it plays. So we're holding red and blue. We have Ultra Space. We have a lot of good stuff, actually. Oh, we're up against Faber. Green Zard that plays Weak Guard and Guzmahala? Maybe Break Zard? Well, definitely ReshiZard. They go for the instant tag call. Get some extra lads. Yeah, Guzmahala. You love to see a weak guard energy get attached because it means they can't double blaze for 300 on turn 2, so I can freely attach to the active. Then a Guzmahala, toss away a switch and a Cynthia Caitlin. That doesn't even sound right to me, you know. Are they that desperate to get a... Okay, they go for a Heat Factory and a Helmet. Helmet is a card. Okay. Matchup just got a lot worse, boys. Fair play to him. Alright, we'll grab Poipole. We'll Volkner. I want to get Lightning Energy, and I think I want the Tag Call. Tag Call means I can get double ReshiRom, and then I can calm and keep my Koko. And it also means I have a target for red and blue next turn. We need to do the calm this turn, so we just do this. Actually, do I get rid of... Maybe I just put Koko back in the deck and keep Cherish Ball around for next turn to Dedenne change. I'm thinking if I want to keep a supporter, but I don't want to keep a supporter in hand, right? We're just going to be Cherish Balling. I already have the Ultra Space in hand to play around if he wants to change it up and go for a... power plant. I think the Koko goes back in. I'll be discarding one ReshiRom with red and blue and then benching the other one. Alright. Ideal draws, energy cards. He does give us the factory, so that might be a risk that we take before using red and blue. Because we want an energy in the discard pile as well. So he does go for a welder. He also has flint, so you can go for a flare strike here. Yep, they're going to flare strike. Okay, Pokecom is a good draw. That can get us into Baby Nag. I'm going to start with the Cherish Ball, get our Dedenne out. I'm going to go for the Heat Factory here. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. So this can come in. We'll get our Baby Nag. We'll also bench one of these. We're going to red and blue. Get rid of Energy Switch. And... oh, maybe not Energy Switch. We're always attaching the Fire Active. We get rid of the other Reshizard, right? And Calm. Yeah, we don't need the Calm. Or I can get rid of the Fire, right? I can get rid of Fire Reshizard. Oh, nothing makes sense. Okay, it's just... yeah. The E-Switch is the thing we need to keep, basically. E-Switch and Dedenne are the keeps. So we'll get this stuff. We'll E-Switch the Fire over. And then we'll just Dedenne change. So obviously we don't want to hit him for 270 because that will get absolutely wrecked by... Oh, we actually hit Great Catcher for a one-shot if we wanted to. Let's do this real quick. I do want another Poipole down. So the... we just got to hit him for 180, right? Sorry, 150 because of the helmet. Yeah. Yep, that's what we're doing. Okay. Fabled. See a Welder from them. Powering up the next Zard, which makes a lot of sense. We definitely got to stamp him. Oh, they played Jirachi, so they're not green. They're not greens at all. Wild. There's a low puff as well, which is scary. So we definitely got to try and stamp this man, and we got to take the knockout this turn. So we need to find energy, and I need to find another nag, which is there. And we got to try and stamp as well. So a Volkner is definitely our best draw. If we're praying for top decks, Volkner would be it. I can't take a knockout with anything else, can I? No. Red and blue. Red and blue would let me, wouldn't let me close the game very well. Okay, so we ignore. And I want a Cynthia, sorry, I want a space after the Cynthia because I want to have spares for Ultra Convert. So we just Cynthia here. Keep the board space open for Dedenne as well. Okay, right, so I can get my Naga. Cherish Ball, but other Dedenne is prized. Whoops. Okay, okay. So we'll take the dragon out of here. I can Tag Call. Basically thinning the deck to improve our conversion. It's not looking great though. Oh, okay. Koko Prism is live. I can't switch my guy though. And I can't stamp him either. If I convert, I... Alright, we'll dig one more. I love Koko Prism. We should be able to still close game if it comes off. We missed big though. We missed our stamp. We missed our E-switch. His hand size is monstrous. He's played 2 welders. 4, 5, 6, 7. But even if he attacks this, it's still really bad. How am I going to get around this? I need to be able to knock it out with something that isn't this ReshiRom. Or I need to injection GX into Fabled Flare Bolts into an attack. Oh, Christ. Okay, this is going to be hard. Okay. And we need to also be alive for a turn. Don't forget that. Like, we could well just be dead. Oh, man. Okay. Sorry I'm taking a while, guys. We're trying to figure out this. Okay, okay. So I could well just be lost to a welder here. See a switch, they're going to try and Stellar Wish for it. Oh, tag switch attach. Okay. They got there. Oh, so the plan would have been... I mean, it's a long, convoluted plan. It would have been injection next turn. And then, like, stamp Flare Bolts this. Then he'd go down to 1 by knocking this out. It still probably wouldn't work. Yeah, it wouldn't work. Oh, Choice Helmet. What a beast of a card. I'm going to get one more game in because I'm just salty that we're losing. I was so happy with the changes I made. It was doing so well. Also sucked that we had our second Dedenne prize that game. Really hurt my push potential. We drew 12 cards. We could have drawn 18 instead. We probably would have found more stuff. At least a stamp. I mean, come on. Give me stamp, man. The feels. Okay. One final game before I sad face emote my way out of here. Feels weird that all, like, we lost, we're 0-3, but I felt like I probably should have won the Mali. And we could have won the other 2 games. And let's face it, we were teched against for one of the games. Alright, we're going to go for the old Volkner for energy tag switch for next turn. Actually, is that good enough? Energy tag switch means I can attach. Tag switch gets me red and blue and a target to discard. So I can red and blue, but I can't convert and I don't have any more energies to attach. So I think we just play the Cynthia here instead. Missed attachment, which sucks. Feels bad. Well, now I can red and blue next turn. But at least I have the ability to draw off of the red and blue next turn. We want to draw energy for turn, so we'll play this. We have our other Nag-GX in deck, don't we? No, no we don't. Of course, why would we? Why would we? Why would it be in our deck? Everything is clown fiested. Everyone who thought this deck was bad is just smiling right now, like, yeah. We'll top deck a calm, it'll be chill. Was I meant to play my opening hand differently? Was I meant to calm instead of grabbing a Poipole, just Volkner and Dedenne change? Was that what I was meant to do? Hard to say. I don't think it... Weird. Like, what would the Volkner have been? Would have been like Stadium Nav energy? Sounds kind of bad. I don't know. Did I play my first turn wrong? I don't know. There is something to be said about a guaranteed energy card in your hand. He bricked. Great Catcher helps us. Doesn't hurt us. Looks are up against ADP, by the way. They can still end resolve and attack on one, by the way. They can still get a GX attack off. But they don't. Hey, look, energy cards. We do want to bounce the swell. Oh, we need to get this Naga back in our deck. We haven't seen enough energies. Alright, we'll just attach pass. Slow on both ends. They have Stellar Wish and more supporters available. Actually, they didn't play a supporter last turn, did they? Or did they Cynthia first? I can't remember. Did they change away Cynthia, or did they just... I don't know. They missed their Stellar Wish. They're going to go for another one. They got Tag Call now. This might be the piece that they were missing. They're going to grab ADP and Mallow Lana. We see the ADP come down. It's ends resolve time. 2 waters. They have the metal to boots. They have a switch. So they can be going for an altered creation or an ultimate ray here. They're just going to altered creation. Right. So I could red, blue, and E switch to do 90 to him. I think we just got a Volkner here. We want to manually attach a lightning, and I want to get the calm. Wait, it's calm, right? I want to hit him for. I want to hit him this turn for a little bit, like a little poke. How do I hit him for a poke? It would take me discarding stuff. I'd have to discard the whole hand. We can, though. We can. We just calm Dedenne change. We have the other red and blue in deck, at least. Getting rid of both stamps is a little ugly. This is also I can poke him for 90. Draw back into the one Naga-GX that we play. Just a bit of a mess, to be honest. But rather than moping around, we're gonna just try and use it. We're just gonna use it this time. Looks like it's not a red and blue game. We are not red and blue gamers today. U-turn board is very good here. Do I want the... Gotta do this. Do I want the third Poipole down? It's pretty good against... Okay, let's prod. We have a Mallow and Lana at least next turn. If he wants to Mallow Lana himself, we can also just Mallow Lana. And we'll be setting up our board better. Hopefully. Then I get the big heal in. We can wish. I kind of need to find a ball search. They just grab a board, which I'm sure they weren't looking for. It's kind of scary for them to go for an ultimate ray here, right? Nah, it's not scary at all. Just do it. Okay. Just do it. Powering up that slap. 60 damage. It's no joke. Oh. I actually just want to take the Poipole to Ultra Convert here. Before I make any decisions. More supporters. So Volkner for Stadium Nav. Lightning doesn't get me there. So I guess I'm just Mallow Lana-ing away Red Blue and Volkner and just poking for the 90 again. If I do 180, I can more easily kill him next turn. It plays around Mallow Lana better. Sure, we'll hit 180. Alright, they got a Cynthia, and they need to find themselves an attacker. Ultimate ray onto. See a Great Catcher. So they can knock out a Dedenne if they want to for 3 prizes, which sounds pretty good. Very good tempo. As long as they have a Pokemon to attach to. They do not have a Pokemon to attach to. Alright, they drew pretty poorly. Let's not beat around the bush, but... Alright. We'll just do our charges. I guess Reset Stamp is pretty good. Oh, we got rid of all of our Reset Stamps, of course. I'm going to take the, well, we already have the Beast Energy, so I'm probably just going to take the Great here. Slipped my mind that we already had the things gone. How much we need? 100. Want to keep the Naga available to Turning Point for the full value. Alright, they're able to gear. They can still go for like an ends resolve this turn and get straight back into a new attacker, but it's never easy. Especially with a handful gone. Oh, they play Cryogonal for dolls and stuff. Plus 3 ends have gone for them, so... You see that Still a Wish? Another Poker Gear. Let's see if they can hit the ends. There's the 4th ends. So they could be attacking us once again. If they do this alongside a Swell, it's actually decent for them, you know. They hit 3 targets. Don't swell me, bro. They can also turn attach to Keldeo. Just gonna Ultimate Ray. Okay, we gotta dig for the stadium. Stadium and Stadium Nav are both in here. Let's see if we can't get it off this. Let's try it. Yeah, we got him. We got him. We finally won a game of Pokemon cards. Incredible. They kind of bricked. But we were able to get there. Alright, well, the deck was never completely smooth. There's still some stuff to be said about it for sure. We never had to use the Beast Energy for the Keldeo, but you can see how it lines up well for us sometimes. You can see how good Mallow Lana is against ADP as well. Super important card for that matchup. It's good against Mally as well, but we were only able to use it once, and I feel like you do need both uses to be able to beat them. Especially because we couldn't disrupt them with Stamp like ever. Both our Stamps weren't effective enough, I guess you could say. So yeah, like I said, rough first game. We then faced a Choice Helmet, which was also pretty rough. And you could definitely think about adding in Labs to the list, by the way, as an extra Stadium Nav type card. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the revised list. I still think there's like a ways to go, but I definitely feel this is stronger than the Welder build. I feel like you have a lot more control with this list, and we definitely get more Poipoles down, and Red and Blue didn't always come off, but it was usually pretty decent. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Is it still like trash, or is it going to be like a tier 2er or something like that? I'll hear it all down below. Thanks so much for watching today, guys, and putting up with the doll deck. I know those games always take for ages, so sorry about that one. But there we are. I'm at the LEIC right now, I think. So if there aren't videos for a couple days, that's because I'm away. So please put up with that if you can. I'll be back soon, so cheers.